So yes, my girls, for a month, I pretended like nothing was wrong, which was, I think, a mistake. But I was a mess. I was on the bathroom floor. For hours, I couldn't get out of bed. I was not eating. I was, showing up at dinner, with swollen eyes.
Mm.
I tried to cook. I couldn't really cook. And my daughter, who was 15 at the time, um, said she really wanted to cook and learn to cook. And I learned later that she knew because she had read a text on my iPad. She knew what had happened.
Oh,
And I know she was cooking to try and keep me afloat and trying to take care of her sister. And that really breaks my heart because 15 is pretty young to to have to take care of your mom
what
like
an
that.
empathetic, sweet
She
girl.
really is.
And oh man, was there? It's amazing because you also share these stories about like going to cocktail parties or something or trying to get yourself going, and then like some guy would say some insensitive thing. And did you find that the friends that you have together, that people fell into the right places, those who would stand by you, you expected would, and they did, and those by him would, and some we'd share, and must be very difficult for the two people that can go, or three that maybe can go back and forth.
It is, and I have been in that position as a friend. It's not an easy position to be in. And there were definitely he has a strong group of friends going back to grade school and high school, and who I was not super close to. So that was very clear that they would stay with him and support him, which I was glad for. I wanted him to have support and
Yeah.
connection. And then, I have very close, both female and male friends, that were, very supportive of me. And the people who fell in the middle, it's, it's very hard. I never ever blamed, anyone uh, for maintaining connection with him. I found it, strange and challenging to be where I was, which was on the Vineyard, which is a very married place.
Yeah.
I was the only divorced person there at that time, and I think this is common of anyone getting divorced. You go from being a part of something and something that people understand to suddenly being something different. And sometimes people don't know quite what to do with you. Are you going to be invited to couples dinners? Are you just going to be invited to girls' nights? And I had an added element, which was that I'm a very shy and reserved person. But when this happened, um, from the very beginning, I told people exactly what had happened because
Yeah.
I was just so shell shocked. And it still surprises me, but I had a real sense that I wouldn't get through it if I tried to cover it up, to tell a
If you
narrative that
held too
wasn't
much
true.
in, already it's right. Wow.
So he had said to me, let's say that it's amicable, so that will be better for you. And I just said, no, I will not do that. I will not do that. So I would run into people um, in this pretty conservative environment, and they'd say, "How are you?" And people were coming back to the island during COVID, and
Well,
I would say, "I am not good." Yes, yes. And that's the kind of a shocking thing to hear. I think in my previous life, would have probably moved away from that, thinking this is a really tough situation. She probably wants to be private. But what I've learned is, it's so clear that everyone's talking about you, right? It's like this is juicy
yeah.
gossip. And that the people who just came up to me and said, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Or just, this is awful. Like I'm gonna, come over and sit on my porch. Who acknowledged it in some way. It made such a difference. And so now in my life, when people are going through something hard, I try not to worry about saying the wrong thing. I just try and say something.
Say something.
Yep.
I give
Yep.
this advice to everybody. If I've been through a shitstorm of my own, and I would say
Yep.
to people, if you have someone's got cancer or something, you're like, oh, I don't know if I should call. I don't know if I should say anything. Maybe they don't want to hear from me. I don't know. If you're having that debate in your head, always pick up the phone.
I
And
agree. I totally
and
agree. It's
no one's just err on the side of
being
reaching out,
awkward. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Your nickname was Belle the Good. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe this was a part of like, just the Belle the Good would just, take it and swallow it up, and maybe you just had to
Well,
shed
yeah,
a little bit of that.
I always try and clarify that that was a nickname my brother gave me, and it was not a compliment. I was very nerdy. He was very social, always wanted to like bring me out to a party or clubs, and I was like always,
You're the good
doing
girl.
my homework. I was doing my homework on a Friday afternoon. Um,
Oh.
so he he still teases me about that, but I do think it applies to. I think I always did. Stayed within the lines, like went to the right high school and then the right college and then got the, corporate job I was supposed to get, the achieving thing. I got married. I very much wanted to get married. And when this happened, it was like all these structures that I had created, this future that I had mapped out was suddenly just gone. And I think and for me, other than death and illness, which I've experienced in my life with people close to me, which is far worse, this was the worst thing I could have picked for myself because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted an intact family so much. I come from 2 divorces. I just really wanted that family unit so much. And I think when all of that fell apart, you almost get braver because you're like, I'm gonna, this is all an unknown world to me. And I think it gave me the space to do something different. And I think that uh, my family legacy is of women staying really quiet about this particular thing about male infidelity.
Hello.
Um, that to be really, a good woman and graceful, that you clean up the mess, that you protect the man, that you protect the man's reputation. And, I had that in my bones. I watched it. It was never talked about, but I saw that example. And I thought I had married someone so different, who was never going to cheat on me. He was very mild-mannered, very kind, not a public figure in any way. But I had repeated this pattern in a spectacular fashion, more so than my mother and my grandmother, because he didn't want to come back. And I, really thought about what are we doing to attract this? Is this kind of man attracted to us? And why does it keep repeating? And I think putting those pieces together and this inability to lie about what was happening to me just kind of kept leading me down the road of talking about this, and really believing that you can talk openly and honestly about what happened without being vindictive or nasty
Mm-hmm.
or trying to just really take someone down.